Today, the King of Kong is about to be overthrown. This is CheckPoint.
Holy shit, you're here!
Yes?
And you're not sick!
No?
And you're not having dental surgery!
My teeth are all accounted for.
And you're not gonna turn into a giant llama or some other sort of camelid.
That's not a thing that happens.
Oh my god, and it's only February!
The following is a public service announcement for any game publishers trying to get in on the Battle Royale craze now. You are too late. If you're already in progress, you might be okay if your game has a compelling hook, like the team at Automaton promising a cloud-based server structure that could support up to 1,000 players on a map larger than Skyrim. But if you're just starting now, it will be too late, and we need only look to the multiplayer online battle arena genre for proof. Last week, Epic announced it was shutting down its MOBA Paragon, which never left beta, and then Motiga announced that their perpetually in development game Gigantic would receive a final content update and shut down in July. The MOBA cycle is over, and we're in the Battle Royale cycle now. What will be next? A high-level stat management sim, but it's deep-sea fish? Sure, why not? We can call it Teamed Clams.
PUBG, more commonly known as 100-man bullet spam, is real popular. Real popular with cheaters, that is. BattleEye, a third-party anti-cheating service working directly with Bluehole, banned over 1 million PUBG cheaters this January alone and has banned more than 2.5 million accounts lifetime. For a game with a 30 million strong install base, that is a depressingly high percentage of assholes. Bluehole is also working on its own anti-cheat measures for parachutey fighty looty and will be rolling them out to their live servers next week. Hopefully these measures will deter at least some of the wall hacks, teleporters, and aimbots, leaving cheaters only the natural, God-given ways to be complete turd hammocks, clipping into the sub-ocean and stream honking.
Star Wars Battlefront II has not sold as well as Electronic Arts had hoped, nor has it raised the revenue they expected, and they're pretty sure it has something to do with loot boxes and microtransactions. Blake Jorgensen, EA's chief financial officer, told the Wall Street Journal that EA blames the loot box controversy in large part for Battlefront 2's poor revenue. And Blake, you're so close. You're so close. But the controversy was not the issue. People weren't put off by the controversy, Blake. It was the microtransactions and the predatory nature of their implementation that made people angry. And as for the sales numbers, EA had expected to sell 10 million copies by now, and they've merely sold 7 million with another 1 to 3 million expected by the end of March. And how are EA planning to make up this revenue shortfall? As they originally promised, microtransactions will be returning to the game within a few months once they determine a sales model that, quote, works for the community, whatever that means. I think they might not have learned anything.
Remember last week when I reported that Todd Rogers' long-standing world record for the Atari 2600 game Dragster had been nullified because members of the speedrunning community had declared it physically impossible? Remember how I concluded the story by speculating that other early video game world record holders might soon be facing the same scrutiny? Well, it's been exactly 7 days and I'm already correct. Earlier this week, Donkey Kong Forum, the community message board and Donkey Kong high score tracking organization, stripped one Billy Mitchell, the polarizing high score chaser who gained mainstream fame thanks to the 2007 documentary King of Kong, of all his records, citing evidence from former Donkey Kong world record holder Wes Copeland that Mitchell's 12th place 1.05 million point game was patched together from multiple emulated plays. Like the Dragster controversy from last week, this is all based on extremely high-level analysis of what seems to be a very simple arcade game. You see, a Donkey Kong cabinet has a very specific way it changes what's displayed on screen. When a new level comes in, there's sort of a sliding door effect. However, if you're playing an emulated game, the levels just load in big chunks. It's not hugely easy to spot unless you know what you're looking through, and unless you're looking through gameplay footage in slow motion, which is exactly what Donkey Kong Forum scoreboard maintainer Jeremy Zelina Young did, and realized that Billy Mitchell's high scores weren't generated with a genuine arcade machine, but with an emulator. But so what? Well, If you're playing an emulated game, it's possible to cheat by slicing together multiple high-score attempts, which is exactly what Copeland alleges. He did a statistical analysis of Mitchell's run and found out that it had an unusually high ratio of points gained from blue barrel smashes, the point values for which are RNG-based. Copeland thinks that Mitchell used save states and replayed boards over and over again to ensure he got good RNG on his barrel smashes, because his scores for them are way above the average. And while that's pretty circumstantial, combined with the evidence that Mitchell wasn't playing on an arcade machine as he claimed he was enough for the Donkey Kong forum to remove Mitchell's high scores from their list. Twin Galaxies, the organization that sort of officially keeps all video game high scores and submits them to Guinness for World Record status, hasn't done anything with Mitchell's scores yet, but they are reviewing the evidence. So expect later updates? Or maybe don't, because literally 3 days ago, Robbie Lakeman set a new Donkey Kong world record of 1,247,700. And the whole thing was streamed on Twitch, so you could clearly see him playing on an actual cabinet. And then they disassembled it on stream after the run so people could inspect the components and there would be no doubt about the record's authenticity. So none of this matters, unless you're Billy Mitchell.
If you're watching this live, that's pretty impressive, because Twitch.tv has been acting a little weird this morning, due in no small part to the return of streaming personality Dr. Disrespect, who, at time of writing, is commanding viewership to the tune of 350,000 people. For those unaware, the Doc is a hyperbolic character portrayed by Guy Beam, who rocketed to prominence in 2017, winning the Gaming Awards Trending Gamer of the Year, before appearing on stream not in character, admitting to marital infidelity, apologizing, and announcing a hiatus from streaming. Today is his much-hyped return, and it's going astonishingly well, to the point that Twitch was briefly offline while servers were buffeted with the traffic. A similar thing happened recently when League of Legends player and streaming personality Tyler1 returned to Twitch following the removal of his game-wide all-accounts ban, which had been put in place at the time following a series of individual account bans for Tyler's ongoing toxicity. After time away from streaming League, Tyler apparently reformed himself, the only evidence for which was him saying that he had done so, and returned to Twitch with an equally server-breaking stream topping at 380,000 viewers. So our new plan to fund LoadingReadyRun through the rest of the decade is to follow the 4-step guide laid out by Tyler and Dr. Disrespect. Be shitty, leave, claim to have reformed, return to thunderous applause and thousands of dollars in Twitch subscriptions. If anyone has any suggestions about something that's bad enough to force us to leave, but not so unforgivable that we can't return, just kidding, nothing matters anymore.
I think that only works if you already have a huge following before you do the bad thing.
Right. We need to start doing a small amount of bad things to attract the audience of bad thing likers. Then, when we do the big bad thing, people who don't watch us can be mad about it, but all our bad thing liker fans can fervently defend us because we're just playing a character.
This sounds like way too much work.
Yeah, thinking about it now can't be arsed.
Coming up, Nintendo has revealed you will be able to reprogram all the Labo toys to make your own Franken Toy Cons, which will almost certainly all be turned into homebrew sex toys. And market analysts thought Labo wouldn't appeal to adults.
I like the suggestion from chat that's just, do crimes? No, it can't be anything actually illegal. Only, like, shitty.
Morally bad.
I guess we could just make a bunch of cardboard sex toys.